All right, hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Dora metrics.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, so these metrics are really important for anyone involved in software development.
Yeah, if you're a software engineer, engineering manager, CTO.
Exactly.
Wow.
They really give you a good insight into how your team is performing when it comes to delivering software.
Yeah, like, are you delivering it quickly? Are you delivering it reliably?
Exactly. So specifically, we're going to be looking at the 2024 Dora report.
Uh-huh.
And this report basically categorizes software delivery performance into four different levels: elite, high, medium, and low.
And that's based on 4 key metrics.
Right. And one thing that really stood out to me in this report was the difference between elite teams and low-performing teams.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
I mean, elite teams, for example, have a 127 times faster lead time for changes,
Yeah, think about that 127 times. That's a game changer.
and they deploy 182 times more frequently every year,
That's incredible.
and their change failure rate is 8 times lower, much lower.
And when it comes to recovering from failed deployments, they're 2,293 times faster.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, those numbers are just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at those numbers, it really shows you the power of, good software development practices.
So would you kind of unpack that a little bit? What does it actually mean to have a lead time that's 127 times faster? What does that actually look like in practice?
So imagine, you're working on a new feature, right?
Yeah.
And from the moment you write the code to the moment it's live for your users, it might take weeks or even months for some teams.
Yeah, I've been there.
But for elite teams, we're talking about hours, maybe even minutes.
So they can respond to changes in the market or feedback from users just like that?
Exactly. It's all about agility and speed.
And what about deploying 182 times more frequently? I mean, some people might think that sounds chaotic.
Right, but it's not about deploying every little change immediately. It's about having a process that allows for frequent, small, and low-risk deployments. So you're constantly getting feedback and improving your product.
Exactly. You're able to iterate much faster and deliver value to your users more quickly.
So it sounds like a lot of this comes down to automation, would you say?
Definitely. Elite teams rely heavily on automation for things like testing, deployment, and monitoring.
And that frees up their developers to focus on, the more creative and strategic aspects of software development.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the change failure rate for a minute.
Okay.
You said that elite teams have an 8 times lower change failure rate.
Yeah, and that's huge because it means they're delivering higher quality software with fewer bugs and errors.
And that ultimately leads to a better experience for their users.
Absolutely. And it also reduces the amount of time and money spent on fixing problems.
Now, of course, even the best teams make mistakes sometimes.
Of course.
So how important is it to be able to recover quickly from those failures?
Oh, it's crucial. When something does go wrong, you want to be able to fix it as quickly as possible to minimize the impact on your users.
And that's where time to restore service comes in, right?
Right, and elite teams are incredibly fast at this. We're talking about minutes instead of hours or days.
So they have processes and tools in place to quickly identify and resolve issues.
Exactly, and they have a culture of learning from their mistakes so they can prevent them from happening again.
Now, looking at the report, it seems like not everyone is operating at that elite level.
Right.
In fact, only 19% of respondents fall into that category.
Yeah.
You've also got 22% who are high performers, 35% in the medium range, and 25% who are classified as low.
Yeah, it's a bit concerning that a quarter of the industry is still struggling in that low performance category.
What do you think is holding those teams back?
I think a lot of it comes down to outdated technology, manual processes, and a lack of focus on automation and continuous improvement.
So for those listening who want to improve their Dora metrics, where should they start?
Well, one great resource is middleware open source.
Oh, yeah, that's a great tool.
It can help you measure your own Dora metrics and give you a better understanding of your software delivery pipeline.
So you can see where you're excelling and where you need to improve.
Exactly.
And knowing where you stand is the first step to making positive changes, right?
Absolutely. So I encourage everyone listening to check it out.
Yeah, and I'd also add that you don't have to try to do everything at once, right?
Yeah.
Just focus on making small, incremental improvements over time.
Exactly. Even small changes can have a big impact in the long run.
So what's one small step that our listeners can take today to start moving towards a higher performance level?
That's a great question. I think it's important to start by identifying your biggest bottleneck.
Good.
What's the one thing that's slowing your team down the most? Once you know what that is, you can start brainstorming ways to address it.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone.
Right.
There are lots of resources and communities out there to help you along the way.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to reach out for help and support.
Well, on that note, thanks for joining us today for this deep dive into Dora metrics.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope you found this information helpful, and we encourage you to start taking steps to optimize your software delivery process today.
Until next time.
See ya.